Hey, I wanted to take a moment and just speak to you candidly about things like worry, guilt, jealousy, depression, anxiety. If you've ever felt any of those things, especially when you've got a big decision in front of you, it all falls under one word: fear. Fear is a very misunderstood emotion. Over 40 years ago, I was asked to put together a program helping police officers embrace fear in scary life and death situations. It changed their lives overnight. And I never forgot that. And I now have offered that for the last 40 years to the public, and it's called Leap of Faith, 3.5 days long. It has changed the lives of people from all over the world that come here in the Northwest to take this program. And now I want to offer it to you. It is a $700, 3.5 day, very meaty course that we're giving it away for $97. That's right. Why? Because I want to make an impact in your life. That's more important than anything else. I know that the impact I make in your life, you'll pay it forward to make the impact in others. And that is key. So come and learn what Gandhi and Mother Teresa and Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela all knew about that walk through the darkness into the light, where fear is born, but you're not meant to stay there. If you're being held hostage by your own mind, time to break free and be free completely. If you're thinking about life, you're not living life. And remember, in order to have what you've never had, you're going to have to do what you've never done. Find the link below and click on it, and it starts the minute you press on that link. Your life will begin. I hope to see you there.
My next guest says that children are really especially ill-prepared to deal with attacks from strangers. Martial arts champion Jeff Alexander developed what he calls warrior spirit that empowers children to overcome a lot of their fears.
Fear is their friend. It tells you about your environment. But when we stop there, we freeze. So we go from there into power.
I wish I could tell you that I woke up one morning and I said, I think I'm going to create a weekend program that's going to change lives. But like a lot of us, it was not something that I intended to do. I was a fighter back then. That's how I put myself through school. It was a little weird being a boxer that hit people at night and then fixed their teeth during the day, but it paid the bills.
My good friend here is a dentist, except he has a new dental plan where he removes your teeth physically and without remorse.
Being in Los Angeles and meeting a lot of cops that came to watch me fight, and then eventually end up at the gym, I start working with them and helping them with deal better with physical confrontation in the street. So I put together programs for these cops, half the time not knowing what I was doing, but I knew we needed to do three things. We needed to make a mental pathway, it had to be emotional, and it certainly had to be physical. And therein came the birth of this program.
About 3 weeks over the summer, I was in the hospital. I had surgery. Right when I got home, my boyfriend broke up with me, and then my stepfather committed suicide.
6 or 7 months ago, I got seriously ill. And out of that illness, I made up a bunch of stories about, what was going to be possible in my life, what I was going to be able to do. I felt like I couldn't go on.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, and I was told that at that point that I maybe had a year to live, maybe 5.
My stepdad molested me a few times, actually, and I didn't want to think that what he was doing to me was wrong.
This is not an all-talk seminar. You're going to get involved because you're worth it.
A friend told me long ago, the gates of hell are locked from the inside. Thank you for giving me another key.
I remember one of the best definitions of fear that I ever had. I was teaching a class with kids, and there was a 7-year-old in the front row, and we talk about fear and the feeling of fear. And he raises his hand, and I said, sure, what do you think fear is? He raises his hand, he stands up, and he says, fear is a feeling in my body that tells me about my environment so I can make the right decisions. And then he sits down. I was dumbfounded. I mean, I've spent a lot of time researching this whole phenomenon called fear. I had never heard a more non-judgmental, accurate perception of fear. It's a feeling in our bodies. It's not a bad feeling, it's not a good feeling. It's just a feeling in our bodies that's talking to us. Fear will get your attention, it'll grab you. This is not about fear management. It's not about mastering fear. It's about understanding that it's a feeling in the body, just like when you're hungry, you go feed your body. When you're tired, that's a feeling, you go lay down. When you feel fear, you take a form of action. As a society, we've been taught to do just the opposite. When we feel fear, we tend to be inactive. We tend to do nothing. Now, to me, that's like being in a car where you step on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. The fear is the brake. I'm concerned. I can't take action. Or the accelerators, the adrenaline says it's time to take action. It's the programming that takes many times the wrong course of action. What this is about is putting the right programming to the right feeling. So fear is not the enemy. Fear is really a friend, like my little friend said. It's just a feeling in the body that talks to us. What this is about is when that feeling comes like a phone call, you're not afraid to pick it up and listen to the message on the other side. The only way to get to heaven sometimes is straight through hell.
My stepfather, we had kind of a tumultuous kind of relationship, and when he killed himself, the movie that I had playing in my mind over and over and over was, you know, the movie of him shooting himself and what it looked like and what it was like, and I couldn't turn that off. And being here allowed me to.
I got more to give. Even when I think I can't go any further, I can go even, further than that. And it sort of took me past a threshold where I think that, I can go out and have a productive life, despite what's happened to me.
What I think I will take away from this weekend is the ability to stop, slow down, definitely look at my world with a lot more love and compassion.
I wanted to know what to do to prevent it from happening again. So now I do.
I really appreciate your courage and your stamina and your perseverance. You've demonstrated boldness. You definitely have come together as one. So as I ask you the one last question again that you'll be asking yourself for the rest of your days, starting when you leave this place, I have no doubt what the answer is. So the question is, will you take this leap of faith? Yes!
Brothers here for giving me a gift that is too special for words.
This class has brought out so much that was buried inside of me that I didn't realize. I want to thank you guys for being there with me.
I mean, I gave birth to a set of twins, and I was elated when it was out and over, but this compares right up there with it, and it's even better because it was my life, not the baby's, it was my life. I got reborn inside, and I gave birth to me.
When you go through it, and you see for yourself that we're all walking around with lids over our spirit, and they can't get out, and they're screaming to get out, and we're dying slowly. You don't know how good that feels until you remove that lid. Oh, my lid's gone, and I'm throwing that thing away.
And I didn't think I could feel this way. I've been sad and angry and tired for so long. But I don't feel that way. I'm know, everybody you know, and just soon the world will be like this. Just one person. If everybody tell one person, we got it, we got it. This has got to stop. I have 3 daughters out there that I constantly worry about. But you know, I'm not worried anymore.